Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be covering my second favorite deck of all time, being the Gem Knights. And as we know, they just got support recently, which has made this deck such an amazing deck. I'm just going to give you guys my 48 card deck profile, starting with the monsters of course. We run 3 of Gem Knight Nephrim, probably the best card in the deck. This card, on normal or special summon, will add a Gem Knight card from deck to hand, and also any effect damage your opponent takes during the main phase is halved this turn. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a gem monster. If this card is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon this card. Extremely powerful. I'm surprised she was not hit on the ban list with this recent one that came out. I was expecting her to get at least semi-limited at least, but I'm not complaining. I run 3 Gem Knight Quartz. Gem Knight Quartz, if your opponent controls a monster, you can discard this card and set a fusion continuous spell directly from the deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Gem Knight monsters for the rest of this turn. So be careful with that effect. If this card is used as material for a fusion summon and sent to the graveyard or banished, you can add a Gem Knight monster from your graveyard to your hand except Gem Knight Quartz. You can only use each effect once per turn. And I say be careful with that effect because I run a Gem Knight Shaddoll mix. And the last Gem Knight monster in the deck is Gem Knight Holocore. I run 3 copies. This card is extremely powerful for the deck. He's basically Omni-Negate from the graveyard. You can send a Gem Knight normal monster or Gem Knight fusion from your deck to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand in defense position. When your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Gem Knight fusion monster, quick effect. You can banish 3 Gem Knight cards from your graveyard, including this card, negate that effect, then all Gem Knight monsters you currently control gain 1000 attack. And they keep that attack. We run 2 Gem Armadillos. When this card is normal summoned, you can add a Gem Knight monster from deck to hand, not once per turn. Into the Shaddoll engine, we run 1 Shaddoll Beast. If this card is flip summoned, you can draw 2 cards and discard 1. And if he's sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can draw a card. Shaddoll Dragon, 1 copy. Flip effect, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. Or if you send to the graveyard by card effect, you can target Spell or Trap card on the field and destroy it. 1 Shaddoll Squamata. Flip effect, you can target a monster on the field and destroy it. If he is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can send a Shaddoll card from the deck to the graveyard, except Squamata. 1 Shaddoll Hedgehog. Flip effect, you can add a Shaddoll Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand. When he's sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can add a Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand, except Hedgehog. 1 Nishadal Genius. This card, flip effect, you can target 1 Shaddoll monster you control. That face-up monster is unaffected by monster effects this turn, except its own. If he's sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can target 1 effect monster on the field. Neither player can activate that target's effects on the field this turn. Basically an imperm. And the last Shaddoll card, 1 Nail Shaddoll Aerial. Flip effect, you can target 1 of your banished Shaddoll monsters, special summon it in face up or face down defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can target up to 3 cards in the graveyard, banish them. I do run 1 Nemesis Flag. Nemesis Flag, you can target 1 of your banished monsters except Nemesis Flag, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, shuffle that target into the deck. During your main phase, you can add 1 Nemesis monster from your deck to your hand. And the Nemesis monster I play is Arch Nemesis Ishados. I do have Protos, but I like Ishados better. I'm just more of a dragon fan. But to each their own. He must be special summoned from the hand by banishing 3 monsters of different types from your graveyard and or face-up field. He cannot be destroyed by card effects. I can declare 1 monster type on the field, destroy all monsters on the field with that type. Also, until the end of the next turn, neither player can special summon monsters with that type. So basically, I'll just declare Cyberse and destroy all Cyberse if I'm playing Malice, which happened one time, and I just wiped their entire board and won the game. I play 2 of the Kawanguis, the Sticky String Kaiju. We all know what Kaijus do. He's just a Kaiju. Then I play 3 Molcharmi Fulos. We know what Fulos does. He's annoying, but pretty cute. I then run, the last monster in the deck is the 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. A pretty annoying card, but also pretty good when you use them. On to the spells. I run 3 copies of Gem Knight Dispersion. Now this card honestly should have been limited to 2. No, semi-limited. But I'm glad it's not. I will gladly keep playing it at 3. This card is basically just Branded Fusion, but for Gem Knights. You use both effects once per turn. The first effect, Fusion Summon a Gem Knight Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. Up to 2 monsters from your deck or extra deck can be used if they are non-rock Gem Knight monsters and you have Gem Knight Fusion in your graveyard. The second effect, add a gem monster from your deck or banishment to your hand. Also, any effect damage your opponent takes during the main phase this turn is halved. Insane card. I then run 3 Shaddoll Fusions. Shaddoll Fusion, another fantastic fusion spell. Fusion summon a Shaddoll Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use monsters from in your deck as fusion material. Insane. Reminds me of Ancient Gear Fusion. If you can't tell already, I'm just a fusion fanatic. That's my favorite summoning method in Yu-Gi-Oh! So if it's a fusion deck, I'm playing it. I run 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. We all know what Droplet does. This card is just fantastic. 2 copies of Salesman. I can declare 1 card name for the rest of this turn. Your opponent cannot activate cannot activate cards, or the effects of cards with the same original name as the declared card. The same restrictions apply to you, but for the rest of the duel instead of just for this turn. You can only activate 1 Salesman per turn. An amazing card. Just declare Nibiru. Or declare Ash Blossom. Then I run 2 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust. We know what Thrust does. Thrust is great. 1 Gem Knight Fusion. I love the new artwork. Fusion summon 1 Gem Knight Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish a Gem Knight monster from your graveyard and add this card to your hand. Not once per turn. 1 copy of Brilliant Fusion. When this card is activated, you can fusion summon a Gem Knight Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your deck as material, but its attack and defense are changed to 0. If this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Once per turn, you can discard 1 spell. The monster special summoned by this card's effects gains its attack and defense until the end of your opponent's turn. 1 Scatter Fusion. Scatter Fusion, another phenomenal card. During your main phase, if your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon 1 non-rock Gem Knight monster from your extra deck using monsters from your deck as material. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Gem Knight monsters. You can only use this effect of Scatter Fusion once per turn. When this card leaves the field, destroy all monsters summoned by this card's effect. I am thinking about cutting out Absorb Fusion, but I'm still running it for now. Absorb Fusion, I can add a Gem Knight card from deck to hand, then apply this effect. Fusion summon 1 Gem Knight Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing its materials from your hand or field. You can only activate 1 Absorb Fusion you You can only activate one absorbed fusion per turn. You cannot special summon the turn you activate this card, except Gem Knight monsters. 1 Foolish Burial, send a monster from deck to grave, we know what it does. 1 Call by the Grave. 1 Triple Tax Talent, we know what this card does. And 1 Crossout Designator. And that brings the deck total to a 48, just like my Ancient Gears. And that's not on purpose, that's just pure coincidence. Now, on to the extra deck. I run 1 copy of Gem Knight Master Diamond, my favorite Gem Knight card. This card needs 3 Gem Knight monsters for its fusion material. Must first be fusion summoned. This card gains 100 attack for each gem monster in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can banish 1 level 7 or lower Gem Knight fusion monster from your graveyard. Until the end phase, this card's name becomes that monster's and replaces this effect with that monster's original effects. Such an amazing effect. Next, one of the new Gem Knight Master Diamond Dispersion. Dispersion is such a fantastic custom card for this deck. He does not need 3 Gem Knight monsters, but 3 Gem. So you could use Gem Armadillo for his fusion summon. 3 Gem monsters. During the main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your field to the graveyard, special summon up to 3 non-rock gem monsters with different names from your extra deck and or graveyard, ignoring their summoning conditions. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters. When your Gem Knight fusion monster is destroyed by battle, while this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon this card. Absolutely insane. I'm glad he's here. 1 Gem Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond, another fantastic card. She needs 3 Gem Knight fusion monsters. 3 Gem Knight monsters, not 3 Gem Knight fusions. That'd be insane. She must be first fusion summoned with the above fusion materials. You can only special summon Gem Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond once per turn. Once per turn, you can send a face-up Gem Knight monster you control to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a Gem Knight fusion monster from the extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. 1 Gem Knight Aquamarine. If this card attacks, it is changed to defense position at the end of the battle phase. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and return that target to the hand. 1 Gem Knight Topaz, another favorite of mine, because I usually just combo with him into Gem Knight Master Diamond. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. If this card destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict damage to your opponents equal to that monster's original attack. 1 Gem Knight Ruby, another favorite. I just love all the Gem Knights so much. Gem Knight Ruby, he contribute 1 other face-up gem monster on the field. This card gains attack equal to the attack of the attributed monster had on the field until the end of the turn. If he attacks a defense monster, he inflicts piercing. 1 Gem Knight Lady Rose Diamond. This card's a little interesting. She, I've got her effects wrong a couple times, but I understand her now. I'm kind of stupid, so it took me a while to learn this card. But she's good. She's good. What she does, she needs a Gem Knight monster and a fairy monster for her fusion materials. Once per opponent's turn, the first time a Gem Knight monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, it is not destroyed. During your turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish 1 Gem Knight card from your graveyard, and target 1 face-up card on your opponent's, well, 1 face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. 1 Gem Knight Seraphonite. Gem Knight Seraphonite needs a Gem Knight monster and light monster for her fusion materials. Must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials. During the main phase, you can normal summon / set 1 monster in addition to your normal summon / set. I then run 2 of the Gem Knight Phantom Quartz. Phantom Quartz in a fantastic Gem Knight card. He needs 2 gem monsters, so you could always just use Gem Armadillo for his summon, which usually you would. When he's link summoned, you can add a Gem Knight card from deck to hand. You can pay 1,000 life points, fusion summon a Gem Knight fusion monster from the extra deck by shuffling its materials from your graveyard or banishment into the deck, but it cannot attack directly this turn. And that's alright. Now onto the Shaddoll engine, or excuse me, the Shaddoll fusion targets. We have 1 El Shaddoll Construct. Construct is such an amazing card. 1 Shaddoll monster and a light monster for her fusion material. If she is special summoned, I can send a Shaddoll card from deck to the graveyard. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a special summoned monster, destroy that monster. If she is sent to the graveyard, I can target a Shaddoll spell or trap in the graveyard and add it back to hand. 1 El Shaddoll Apkalon. I believe that's how you say it. I hope so. If I'm wrong, please correct me. She just needs 2 Shaddoll monsters with different attributes. She cannot be destroyed by battle, and you can only use each effect once per turn. If she's special summoned, you can target a face-up card on the field and negate its effects. And if she's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Shaddoll card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and then discard 1 card. 1 El Shaddoll Wendigo. I'm thinking about putting her in the side deck and replacing her with one of my sided cards in the side deck. But for now, she's in the she's in the extra deck. She just needs a Shaddoll monster and a Wind monster. During either player's turn, you can target 1 monster you control. This turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle with an opponent's special summon monster. And if she's sent to the graveyard, you can target a Shaddoll spell or trap and add it to the hand. 1 El Shaddoll Enoyadilis. I have no clue how to pronounce that. She just needs a Shaddoll monster and a water monster. Neither player can special summon monsters from the hand or graveyard using spell or trap effects. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target a Shaddoll spell or trap and add it to your hand. And lastly, the El Shaddoll Shikanaga, which needs a Shaddoll monster and an Earth monster. When a special summon monster activates its effects while you have a Shaddoll card in your hand, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster, then send 1 Shaddoll card from your hand to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a Shaddoll spell or trap in the graveyard and add it to your hand. Onto the side deck, we have Gem Knight Lady Lapis Lazuli. She's the one I'm thinking about putting in the main extra deck now instead of Wendigo, but for now she's staying here. Nope. Whoops. This card, once per turn, you can send a Gem Knight monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each special summon monster on the field. Prismara. Once per turn, you can send a Gem Knight card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. 1 Donner, Dagger for Hire. 2 monsters with different types. You can target 1 monster for hire you control and 1 monster your opponent controls. Destroy them. That's basically all Donner does for this deck. An extra copy of Seraphinite, a Harpy's Feather Duster, 3 Ash Blossom, 1 El Shaddoll Winda, needs a Shaddoll and a Dark monster, cannot be destroyed by card effects, well, by an opponent's card effects. Each player can only special summon monsters once per turn while this card is face up on the field. 3-dimensional barrier, and 1 Sailspan to wrap up the side deck. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed playing this deck. And again, if you want combo videos or anything else for a follow-up on this, or suggestions, I'd be happy to listen to. Well, I'll see you guys in the next one. For the next deck profile, I'll probably do Dinosaur or Hero. One or the other. We'll see. But y'all take care.